Hey guys, welcome back to New Wall Carpentry Solutions. In this video, I'm going to show you my chosen method for applying Odie whenever I have a large surface, especially a large flat surface, to apply my oil finish to. Typically, I like to actually apply a few dabs directly to my buffing pad. Well, this is not a buffing pad, this is one of the woven wool pads. This is for application. So I like to add a few dabs to the pad directly, just to get the pad slightly saturated, and then if need be, I do add more oil directly to the board or whatever surface I'm currently buffing. In this case, they typically say use the Scotch-Brite pads and apply Odie oil by hand. But again, once you're comfortable with applying the finish and making sure that you're not pretty much wasting a lot of it, you don't want to have a whole bunch of excess oil on your piece when you're done buffing it in. That's also why they typically tell you to go by hand so you're not oversaturating the product. But in this case, I've been using Odie oil, so I know to pretty much, you want to add just enough material to get the board to look wet. That's how you know that you actually have enough applied to the board. You want to let it sit for that 30 minutes and then come back and actually buff all that off. And then if you want to, you can go for a second coat, but typically if you do it right, Odie oil is a one coat finish and it's plenty durable. The tactile feel and luster that you get after application is second to none. And again, being an application process is so easy, and it being a one coat finish, it is definitely one of my favorite. And how far that the product actually goes is another reason why I love it so much. As you see here, just taking a few dabs and putting it on this board, I'm able to use this buffer to actually pretty much spread it all the way over. Again, you don't really get that kind of spread or usage out of like a poly or even a lacquer, because after doing like 4 or 5 coats on a project, you're done used a lot of it. And the cost versus reward or cost versus return on other products like lacquer or poly, it's not as good as Odie's. So if you're doing a door, a table, or anything else that you actually is not getting subjected to constant water, I would recommend Odie's. These doors that I'm actually finishing up here, they're going to actually have a decent enough overhang. There's a large porch around the front side of the house. So with it not being exposed to direct water, I'm not worried about, sunlight or anything else causing any damage to the door. Again, I do have several doors that were finished with Odie oil and they still look great 6 years later. So with the application process, after I have it all buffed in, I'm actually going to wait probably about 30 to 40 minutes. It recommends about 30 to 40. Sometimes I give it a full hour or two. And then you want to actually switch the pad on your buffer to from the application pad to one of the actual buffing pads. Essentially, instead of a woven wool pad, it's like it's almost like a fine, clean rag almost. So essentially just add it over top of your buffer. That would actually allow you to buff off the excess of Odie oil. And when you do it, you want to actually buff it until you no longer feel a oily or a slick residue. You want to get it all removed from the surface and then come back with a clean white towel and then do another additional hand buff, and then you're left with a flawless finish. I'm going to let this run out for the rest of the video because I'm actually just going to be repeating this on the last few boards. But again, this process is extremely easy. It's not hard to pull off. And if you guys are looking for a flawless finish on one of your projects, definitely look into Odie oil. If you guys have enjoyed though, please make sure you guys leave me a like, a comment, and subscribe. And I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.